What's going on, fantasy football? It's your boy Hot Soup, man. I'm here to bring you our underachievers for week 8, and boy, did we have a slew. Wait till some of these big names I'm about to give you is going to leave your head scrambled eggs, man. Our number one quarterback. Couldn't believe it. He ended up 28th. Guess how many quarterbacks played in week 8? 28. Lamar Jackson. Oh, he left us with almost a goose egg. That's right. You heard it here. 157 yards through the air, 1 TD. Man rushed 5 times for 17 yards. That is unlike Mr. Jackson. Ended up with 11.98 fantasy points. Didn't even score 12 points in standard scoring. Come on, Lamar. Man, let me tell you something. Edwards had the day over there on Sunday. Lamar Jackson, number 28th quarterback in fantasy scoring this week. Left everybody, all his owners, sick to their stomach. Probably lost your week. Crazy, crazy. What's even crazier is my number 2. I probably should have put him number 1. Patrick Mahomes. Oh, my homie. Ended up losing me 2 leagues last night. All I needed, Mahomes, was 5 more points. Bro, 5 more points. Lost in both my leagues by like 6 and 7 points. Man, this man, Patrick Mahomes, goes off for 241 yards, 2 interceptions, no TDs, 7.64 fantasy points. He scores that in 2 minutes. Patrick Mahomes was lethargic. He wasn't looking good at all. We had reports that he was sick and might not even play before the game. So the fact he played, man, try to hit him with the Michael Jordan shoe game, man. Listen, it did not happen, man. You could take those cleats, throw them out, Patrick. We don't need them. Matter of fact, game film, all that, throw it out. We don't need it. Go back to the old Patrick, man. Please, your owners are begging you. Man, head scratcher. Alexander Madison ended up number 50 running back this week, man. Did absolutely nothing. Cam Akers was right with him. But Madison had a worse day. Man, had 16 rushes for 31 yards. Oh, man, Madison stock is going this way. And I'm upset because I just traded for him. Yeah, stupid me. It was only 1 league, so I'm not too mad. I really needed the piece that I got that was inquired into that trade. So I feel like I won anyway. I didn't need a running back. That was just an adder, filler for my bench. But yeah, man, Alexander Madison is going to have better days. Kirk Cousins is now out with a torn Achilles. They're going to have to run the ball a lot more over there. Justin Jefferson's still out. So I don't know. They're going to have to solve some problems. They got some big problems over in Minnesota right now. I say go get Carson Wentz and salvage your season. Go grab Trey Lance. Go grab a backup somewhere, man. I'm sorry, but it's looking bad for Minnesota right now. Let's talk about our next running back off the board who was on my top 5 starts last week. Man, we're supposed to have a great game, but we did not see the game flow going the way it did. Isaiah Pacheco. Listen, Kansas City was supposed to be up on Denver, up big. They played from behind, meaning Patrick Mahomes was simply just throwing the ball, and they was D'ing that up. Isaiah Pacheco ended up with only 8 rushes, 40 yards, 3 receptions for -3 yards. Denver's defense really showed up in this game. Ended up smacking those Chiefs this weekend, man. Nobody seen this coming. I know a gang of y'all started Isaiah Pacheco. I apologize. We did not know the game strip was going to be like that, but it happens, man. So he is definitely on our board. He ended up number 40 running back this week. And Tony Pollard, number 36 running back this week with 12 rushes, 53 yards, had 1 reception for 2 yards, and he ended up with 6 points in fantasy. That is absolutely terrible. Man, yeah, those big name guys, man, did absolutely nothing for this week. Hopefully they'll have better weeks to come. Ooh, this is going to hurt. Man, my coveted receiver, Mr. Cooper Kupp. 2 bad games in a row. Matt Stafford is now out with a hurt thumb. It's not broken, which is a good thing, but it could be a bad strain. It's on his throwing thumb. We don't know how long Matthew Stafford is going to be out. Puka and Kupp now get downgraded with their backup quarterback coming in. They just having big problems. Kyron Williams is on IR. Any receiver over there is getting a downgrade now that Matthew Stafford is out. Man, I'm sorry to hear it. Hopefully Matthew Stafford gets back in there, man, gets healthy. Zay Flowers, number 2 receiver. Zay Flowers, man, was supposed to have a big game. He had a great matchup and only ended up with 5 receptions for 19 yards off 7 targets, 4.4 fantasy points. Zay Flowers had a terrible day, but he will have better days coming. Everybody just relax. Nico Collins, another big name receiver that's been doing his thing week in and week out, man, getting lots of volume. He only ended up with 6 targets this week, had 4 receptions for 30 yards, 5 fantasy points. That's it. Tank Dell had a terrible day. CJ Stroud had a terrible day. I actually benched Tua this week in one of my leagues for CJ Stroud, and I'm kicking myself in the butt for it. Thinking CJ Stroud would have a real decent day. He had a great matchup, but hey, things did not come into fruition. It is what it is, man. Any given Sunday, we got popped on that pick. 27th tight end this week, Dalton Schultz, man, same thing. Anything that was being thrown by CJ Stroud, anything over in that Texans game was just absolutely horrible. I want to say they had about 25 punts in that game. Bunch of field goals, man, and just not a fantasy-friendly game for us. So if you started CJ Stroud, you started anybody from the Texans, hey, I'm sorry for you, man. I know you're hurting, but there'll be better days. And the last tight end, Jonnu Smith, who's been getting a lot of pub. Man, that man had 1 reception for 13 yards. I know a lot of y'all started him thinking he was going to go off. Had a great matchup. Not looking good, man. Ended up with 1.8 fantasy points on the week. That was tight end number 21. You could have picked 20 more tight ends that did better. Woo! Week 8 was a mess for our big name studs. I had a longer list, but we don't have time. You got to come check us out for starts and sits later on this week. It's your boy Hot Soup. Also, check us out for our overachievers on our next episode for week 8. Come see me, ask questions. That's what I'm here for. Check me out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Go on YouTube, like and subscribe. I always check in within 24 hours of any questions, man, y'all have about fantasy football. You come check me out on Big B Sports Talk on Wednesdays. Do answer questions around 5:15 p.m. Eastern time. If you have any questions and you need some ingredients for your soup, I got the recipe. Holla.